I was recently browsing through YouTube's news channels and I came across a video that said that the former Attorney General Garland was being destroyed by the newly appointed Attorney General Matt Gaetz. And the title was so sensationalist, I had to look into it. And what I found was completely disappointing and was a pretty full display of the lack of professionalism and objectivity we can expect to see from Matt Gaetz's new appointment. So I'm going to go clip by clip throughout this entire panel interview that they did, or grilling, I should say, because they weren't really genuinely asking him questions. They were more asserting questions at him and hoping that he couldn't provide some sort of answer to them. So I'm going to go clip by clip and show you why I think that this panel was just a complete clown court. I'm happy to hear your thoughts, but I'd like you to address specifically what in this interview was actually revealed about any role Garland might have played in unfair activities attacking Trump. Name it specifically, and what about this discussion indicates any sort of objectivity in addressing the matter in a more positive way going forward?
Judge, was there ever a time when you were a judge when you had a family member who was personally profiting off of the notoriety of a case that was before your court?
Look, I'm going to say again, it's very clear you're asking me to comment on a case in another jurisdiction.
No, wait, hold on, Mr. Attorney General. Did you ever have a family member profit off of the notoriety of any case that you sat over?
Say again, you're asking
yes or no?
You're asking me to comment on a case currently.
Well, it seems you're connecting the dots,
court.
Mr. Attorney General. I'm just asking you as to a general principle, but you are aware that Judge Merchan's daughter was profiting off of this prosecution. You are aware that that creates the appearance of impropriety. You know the very reason there's a federal rule against judges giving donations is because it is the very attack on the judicial process that we're concerned about.
So in this clip, we have Matt Gaetz grilling Garland about issues related to political issues that Garland has no connection to. Accusation after accusation from Gaetz regarding activities Garland has no involvement in, and even Gaetz recognized that Garland is not involved in the accusations he makes at a later point when he discusses the idiotic notion that an assistant attorney general was involved in a politically charged conspiracy. Why would an attorney general not be interested in assisting with such a high-profile issue? Gaetz is acting like it's some sort of conspiracy that an attorney general would want to get involved in a politically charged case. Why wouldn't he? Do the American people want attorney generals who just don't give a crap about their country?
Matthew Colangelo became the assistant attorney general at the very beginning of the Biden administration. Without having been Senate confirmed, goes and gets this senior role at the DOJ, and then after, I believe it's Gupta replaces Colangelo, Colangelo makes this remarkable downstream career journey from the U.S. Department of Justice in Washington, D.C., and then pops up in Alvin Bragg's office to go get Trump. And you're saying that's just a career choice that was made that has nothing to do with the lawfare coordinated by.
And this is the example of the kind of lack of objectivity I'm talking about. So Gaetz is implying that it's downstream from this guy to move from the Department of Energy to investigating issues related to Trump. How is that any sort of downgrade whatsoever? It's moving from one political department to a much more significant political issue. That's not downstream. That's a highly politically charged. I would be begging for that case if I was somebody who wanted to make a difference and be involved in important issues in this country, regardless of which side of the political table I sat on.
Did Jack Smith ask for the
He did
job?
not ask me for the job, no.
Did he convey through someone else that he wanted the job?
I would be surprised if that were the case, but
Well, you don't know?
No, I don't know.
So he may have?
I can only tell you what I know. I chose him because he had a record of impartial career experience as a prosecutor. That's why he was chosen.
Was it impartial when he went after Governor McDonnell?
He was a member of,
It was after Governor McDonnell, that case gets appealed to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court unanimously said it was wrong and overturns the conviction?
he was in the public integrity section of the Justice Department, a career position. They made the decisions they thought were warranted, and we respect the decision of the Supreme Court.
So in that clip that just played, Jordan grills Garland for not knowing if Jack Smith may have asked somebody for the job he was offered, and Garlick said Jack did not ask him for the job. I mean, how is Garland supposed to know if Jack might have asked somebody somewhere in the world for that position? Is Garland supposed to be on trial right now for not being omniscient? Jim and Garland list off Jack Smith's qualifications for taking the case against Trump, which were working for the International Criminal Court. He was independent, nonpartisan, and had no connections to any political office. Jordan denies none of those qualifications, but accusationally implies that he was the wrong choice. I don't know, Jim. It kind of sounds like he was reasonably qualified, though.
This is from Jack Smith to some other folks in the Justice Department, and it says, could we ever charge a conspiracy to violate laws of the U.S. for misuse of such nonprofits to get around existing campaign finance laws? Jack Smith was looking to prosecute the very people who were targeted by the Obama IRS.
I don't know. You have excerpts from an email I've never seen. You should know that I
IRS Commissioner Sarah, I'm just asking, did this weigh into your decision? Did you know about this?
No,
What Jack Smith
I
was
don't
trying
know
to
if
do?
it's. I also don't know if it's true now.
So here, Jim Jordan is reading email correspondence between Jack Smith and legal advisors about meeting with members of the IRS while prosecuting victims of the Obama administration, as Jim Jordan puts it. What percentage of Americans do you think have ever heard of the people in this correspondence? Take a look at the picture. Go back again if you need to see it. Take a look at the picture. These are not high profile political affiliates, yet Jordan is grilling Garland about this case as if it should have affected his judgment somehow.
Oh, I do not regret picking him.
Well, prosecutors aren't supposed to tamper with evidence, and it looks like that's what he did. He changed the sequence of the documents that he seized from Mar-a-Lago.
I'm sorry, that's a false characterization, but that is ongoing.
Here's what he said to the court, Mr. Attorney General. There are some boxes where the order of items within the box is not the same as in the associated scans. I mean, he said it. I didn't say it. He told the court that.
So here Jordan claims that the Trump prosecutor tampered with evidence because he changed the order of the classified documents seized from Mar-a-Lago. Why would a prosecutor do that? Perhaps because he's only interested in collecting documents relevant to the case he's building? Was the prosecutor supposed to show up in the court with all the boxes seized from Trump's hotel in the order that they were found? What kind of idiot would do that? Jordan apparently thinks it's unfair that the prosecutor only presented evidence that the court needed to know about.
Well, let me ask it this way. Are you supposed to change the order of the documents that you seized, and the physical documents don't match up with the scanned documents? Are you supposed to do that as a prosecutor?
This is a matter in dispute, in discovery in that court, and I'm going to leave it for the district court to make a determination. After
I would just say one last thing.
It's
not in dispute. This is what he said.
So this is the kind of lack of objectivity and really just lack of knowledge, just talking about something that you don't know anything about. Jim Jordan is claiming that Smith reorganizing the documents was mishandling the documents, which is not true at all when you're dealing with classified information. You can organize classified information however you want, so long as the information is following the classification guidance. Jim Jordan apparently knows nothing about handling classified documents and markings. And if you're sitting here wondering how I would know, well, it's because I worked for the Air Force and I've worked in several classified areas and I've handled several classified documents throughout my career in both the Air Force and as a government civilian. The eventual outcome of this panel was that the former Attorney General Garland was held in contempt of Congress for not providing them all the information that they expected, apparently. And from what I can tell, it seems like their intent from the get-go was to hold him in contempt of Congress some way or another, regardless of his responses. And the parties voted entirely along political lines. So I don't think there was any objectivity anywhere to be found throughout this entire panel process.